What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video here. This one's actually going to be on the E90, kind of straying away from all the F30 videos that I've been putting out. So if you're new to the show here, I have a 2009 BMW 328i xDrive with 115,000 miles on it. I bought this car 2 years ago, and I've put a significant amount of mods into this car, mostly exterior and a little bit of performance, since I can't really do that many performance mods since it's just a 328i. But I have done a lot of exterior mods to the car, and I've done my best to make it look, as clean and as unique as possible. You guys should have seen the car when I first got it, when it was completely stock. I'll probably put a picture up so you guys can see, and then I'll show you guys the after to see the comparison. But recently I've had a few issues with the car come up. These aren't major issues, they're just minor issues. And it kind of got me thinking about the rest of the issues that the car has. And I feel like I don't really talk about the problems that the car has. I just, show it off, how it looks on the exterior and interior. So I figured I'd share with you guys all the issues that this BMW has. Again, like I said, these aren't major issues. These are more minor issues of things that are broken or not working or just malfunctioning and not working properly. And maybe some of you have these same issues and you guys were able to find a solution, because I'm looking for solutions to some of these, and maybe you guys can share how you fixed it. So feel free to comment down below if you have anything to say about these issues and how you fixed them or whatnot. So here is everything that is wrong with my 2009 BMW 328i xDrive. So this first issue has to do with my 3-stage intake manifold that I installed about a year ago. If you guys are new to the show here, I did do a 3-stage intake manifold swap from my stock 1-stage intake manifold. So I bought a 3-stage intake manifold used, and I bought brand new DISA valves, DISA, I don't know how to say them. I'm just going to say DISA valves online, and I installed everything, got it tuned, and the car ran great. About 5 months after installing it, I noticed a buzzing sound. After I turned off the car, I'd been driving. I think I got home from work, parked the car, and I turned off the car, and I noticed a buzzing sound coming from the engine bay. Was really confused, and it turns out it was coming from one of the DISA valves on the 3-stage intake manifold. I kind of got worried, thinking maybe it was malfunctioning, because that's the one thing that could really fail on the 3-stage intake manifold. But after I kept driving, and the car was driving normally, the driving never changed, just that sound came out of nowhere, and it was happening every time I would shut off the car when I got to where I was going and I parked. To this day, the sound is still there. Sometimes it'll start immediately after I turn off the car. Sometimes it'll just do it once and then stop. But it's there. Haven't been able to figure out why it's doing that. It's obviously not causing any issues to the driving ability of the car. It still drives normally. So I haven't really been worried about it, but I would like to know why it's doing that. But I haven't been able to find any answers for it. So this next issue has to do with my paddle shifters. If you guys don't know, I have the M Sport steering wheel with the old school style paddle shifters, not the newer modern style where it's just a plus and a minus on each side. With the ones I have, to go up a gear, you press towards you. If you want to drop a gear, you press backward. So the issue lies with when I want to drop a gear. So when I press backward, it doesn't drop a gear, like nothing happens. It'll still go up a gear when I press towards me. But for some reason, whenever I want to drop a gear with the paddle shifters, it doesn't do it. One day it just randomly stopped doing it. But the weird thing is that sometimes it will let me drop a gear and press backwards and it'll work, but then other days it won't. So it just kind of goes back and forth. I don't know why it does this, but with the regular, gear shift here to like change from park to drive, it'll still let me upshift and downshift without any issues. So something to do with the paddle shifters. I don't know what caused it or why it's doing it, on and off. I feel like maybe it had something to do with when I replaced the carbon fiber wheel trim piece that I have from the stock one. Because I feel like that's when I noticed that it wasn't working. Like maybe a couple days after I replaced it with the carbon fiber piece. I don't know, maybe, but I don't think the paddle shifters are anywhere near where I was, messing with the carbon fiber trim piece. But I don't know. If you guys have an answer, feel free to comment that down below. So this next problem isn't really a mechanical issue or electrical issue. It has to do with the exterior. So I have a little dent on my passenger side rear door that I got, I'm pretty sure, from someone, opening the door and then just letting it fly out. And I'm pretty sure it hit my car and created a little dent right on the seam where, it kind of bends. So yeah, that's a little exterior blemish that I have, and probably the only noticeable one. There's little scratches here and there everywhere, but you can't really see them. That's the only one that's really noticeable. It's pretty small still, but it still bugs me, because I'm very detail oriented when it comes to my car, and I'm pretty sure most of you are if you guys are modifying your car. But yeah, that's one little exterior issue that I have, and maybe I don't really show it that much. I don't really take pictures of my car from that side because of it. But that's one little annoyance that I have with the exterior. I tried to take it to a shop to see if they could fix it and to see how much it would be. They quoted me around $500 to fix it, but they would have to repaint the entire door, which I don't want because I feel like the new paint won't be the same as the 10-year-old paint that's on the rest of the car, so I feel like it would just look worse. So I just settled with it and just kept it there. Kind of just ignored it. It hasn't really bothered me that much. I just kind of see it as, kind of a unique touch to the car, making it stand out more. That's how you'll be able to tell it's my car with that little dent. If you see me on the road, maybe once and then you see me again, that's how you'll be able to tell that it's my car. So kind of putting a positive, attitude towards it. All right, so the next one has to do with my headlights. So if you're new here, I retrofitted my stock headlights with some BAV Group Design angel eye rings. I had someone install them for me and, retrofit the whole headlight, painted the inside black and upgraded the low beam bulbs. So I left the car with him and he did everything. And then when I picked it up, he told me that there was a warning light for my cornering lights. He doesn't know why it was doing that. I figured it had something to do with, there's something in it that's not supposed to be there, which are the aftermarket rings. So maybe that messed up some of the readings in the electronics of the ECU, being able to read if a bulb is out. The weird thing is that I believe they still work, the cornering lights, but I still get the warning on my dash every time I start the car, unfortunately. I just kind of ignored it. I thought of, finding someone who can code out those warning lights maybe, but I haven't really been looking into it that much. So I may try to get to it down the road, or I don't even know if it's possible to code them out. I think it is. But let me know if you guys have an answer for that. If you're able to, are you able to code out warning lights? If so, that's great. Then I'll definitely do that, and I'll find what I can to get that fixed. So yeah, if you are thinking about retrofitting your headlights with some aftermarket rings, beware of that. I don't even, maybe the guy just messed up and just kind of lied to me that he did everything correctly, but it has something to do with the ECU, or maybe he did something actually and he knows why it's doing that. He just didn't tell me, but it's whatever. I don't like to get mad over everything. I just kind of ignored it, like I said. And plus the headlights look absolutely fire with the angel eye ring, so I didn't really bug me that much. The next issue has to do with my brake light. For some reason, my car keeps telling me that my right brake light is malfunctioning, indicating that one of the bulbs is out. But the weird thing is that when I go to, check on the bulbs, and I do the brake light test by having someone step on the brake so I could see, both of the bulbs light up, so they still work normally, but for some reason the car keeps telling me that there's a malfunction there. I don't know why. I've just been ignoring it since the brake lights still work. I figured it has something to do with more of the electronic module of its ability to, detect when a bulb is out. I have no idea how to fix that. So if any of you guys are knowledgeable in brake lights or lights on cars and electronics, feel free to drop some info on how I could fix that. And again, it really isn't a major issue, so I've just been kind of ignoring it. So this next problem has to do with my parking sensors. Originally, my car came with a full parking sensor setup, front and back. And if you guys haven't been following, again, if you're new to the channel, I did a M Sport front bumper conversion. If you do that conversion, you soon find out that you can't use the front sensors if your car comes with front sensors, because there's not enough room for the 2 sensors in the middle of the bumper. The 2 outer sensors will fit, but there's no room for the 2 middle sensors. So I soon realized that. I just decided to just not drill holes for them and decided to just do without them. So when I installed the M Sport bumper, I just stuffed the sensors inside, in the side of the bumper. So the sensor still works, so whenever I put the car in reverse, the sensors think that there's something right in front of it, so it just blares the sound, when you're close to something, if you have sensors, thinking that there's something right in front of it when there's not. It isn't really an issue, like everything still works, but it's just kind of more of an inconvenience. So I just kind of turn it off whenever I'm in reverse, so I don't have to hear the loud, blaring sound of the sensors thinking you're right in front of something, about to hit something. Originally, I just took out one of the sensors and made the whole parking sensor just not work because one of the sensors was out. It just thought that the whole thing was messed up, so it didn't turn on at all. It just gave me the warning that the parking sensors were malfunctioning, so I didn't have that sound. But eventually I put a new sensor in because I wanted the rear ones to work, so I did that. So that's why now I have it like that, to where the rear work but the front don't detect anything because there's just stuff in front of the bumper. I thought maybe there was a way you could turn down the volume of the sensors, but I guess not, so I just left it how it was. I thought maybe you can code it out also, I don't know. Feel free to let me know if that's possible, any of you guys know out there. So if you are going to do that conversion from the non-M Sport to the M Sport front bumper on your E90, just beware. If you do have front sensors, you aren't able to use them because there's not enough room. These last 2 issues are the most recent issues to come up with the car. So about a couple weeks ago, I noticed that the car was running very weirdly. It wasn't significant enough for the car, just shut off and not work at all. The car still runs, like, overall normally. I can drive, I can go places without issues. But I noticed when I was at a stoplight once, the RPM started to bounce up and down kind of irregularly, like the engine was struggling to keep that steady RPM at around 600 RPMs. I don't know why, but that's been happening the last 2 weeks. Every time I'm, like either stopped and I'm in drive, the RPM will bounce around. Other times it's just normally, it just sits at 600 RPM, but other times it'll bounce up and down weirdly. And sometimes when I'm inching forward with the car in drive without pressing the gas, it just inches forward. The same thing will happen, like it'll just bounce up and down, and the engine will just surge and kind of vibrate. Same when I'm reversing and I don't have my foot on the gas, like it kind of like lags and the RPM is struggling to keep a steady level. I have no idea why this is happening. I haven't gotten any codes or anything or any check engine light. So I'm kind of still on the search for the answer as to why. I feel like maybe it's a bad ignition coil or a sensor is going bad somewhere. Because like I said, the car still runs. Whenever I step on the gas, the engine runs normally. It doesn't fluctuate or struggle, bounce up and down. It's only when I'm idling and just sitting still or inching forward. So that's where I'm at with that. If you guys have any ideas, again, feel free to comment those and let me know, and I could look into those things and maybe find the answer. Because at this point I'm just kind of waiting for there to be some sort of code to pop up, so that'll point me in the right direction of whatever needs to be replaced. So this last problem here literally just came up 3 days ago. I believe my door lock actuator is jammed or just broken or something, or not work, because it's not working. I went to go unlock my car like I usually do by pressing the unlock button on my key fob, and it made this weird, locking, like thing was unlocking and locking very quickly, and it sounded like it was jammed. So I went to go, kind of just look at it and unlock the door, and sure enough, I'm pretty sure it's jammed. All the other doors still work, but the driver's side lock won't unlock unless you do it manually with the key inside the key fob, or if I open it from the inside when the car is unlocked. So it's kind of an inconvenience now. I'm pretty sure it is the door lock actuator, since that is a pretty common issue on these cars. and this car is 10 years old. So, and I always use the driver's side door. The other doors aren't really used as much since I don't have people I'm driving around. So I'm pretty sure that's the fix, and I'll definitely do a video on it since that's a pretty easy thing to do. So yeah, that wraps up all of the issues that I'm having with my E90 right now. So if you guys have any inputs, any ideas of what could be causing these problems or any solutions to these problems, comment those down below. I'm definitely looking for some help to go in the right directions with these. Like I said, these aren't major, these are minor. When I went into buying this car and modding it and fixing it, I thought like I was gonna fix every single issue. I thought there'd be a point when there would be no issues whatsoever with the car, but most likely that's not gonna happen. You're always gonna have some sort of issues, especially if you mod it to a degree that the car is not supposed to be that way. So anyway guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope I offered some insight into some possible issues, and maybe you guys found this interesting because some of you guys have these same issues. But again, if you have any comments or questions or feedback, feel free to comment those down below, but I will catch you guys on the next one.